Hello and happy Tuesday. We are ready to paint number 2 out of 52 tiny paintings we're painting in 2026 for our Tiny Tuesday series. And I just wanted to share my practice with you. First of all, let me just say, how fun was it to practice? Because, I've been on YouTube for about a year and a half, and I've been posting 2, 3 times a week, sometimes every day when I'm doing challenges. And that did not allow me the time to practice because videos take a long time. So this was so fun to just play over the week, and I wanted to show them to you so you can see. Have fun with colors, have fun with shapes and sizes. We're kind of imagining the colors are the plate that our fried egg is sitting on. Hey, I'm interrupting my own video as I edit here just because I remembered I got a comment from Kim on one of my videos, and she said she's new to watercolors and she loves the idea of doing these tiny paintings to improve her confidence and her skills. And I had mentioned to her that I will share with you how I am doing practice without breaking the bank, because I'm using Arches paper for the actual tutorials, and that's rather expensive. And for these practices, I'm using really inexpensive paper from Amazon, and it's 5x7, so you really just have to quarter the paper if you want to do the same size that I'm doing. So it makes it super simple, and I hope that just helps somebody save a little bit of money. Okay, let's get to it. Oh, let me tell you one more thing before we get to it. So the idea was to leave some of the paper showing, okay, for the highlights in the yolk. But as I do often, I forget. I just start painting, and I just painted a circle, so I forgot on this one. And I just came in with my white gel pen later and added the highlights. So if you are like me and just start painting and realize halfway through that you didn't leave white space, we'll fix that later. All right, clean sheet of paper. Again, I'm painting 2.5 by 3.5 this year. At some point, I will explain why I'm doing that, but I'm always just trying to get to our painting. All right, first things first, we need to choose a color for the background. And while I loved that really bright pink, I am actually going to go with the olive green. And I'm using Mei Liang paints today. Everything is listed in the description that I'm using, but the color I'm using is actual olive green. If you don't have olive green and you really want that, you can mix together black and yellow. There's other ways to do it, but that's my favorite way. And sometimes I get some hate for that because people don't use black and white. I do. It's okay. It's all okay. I have a little bit of color left in my palette from the other day when I was practicing, but you can just dip right out of the pan if you're not mixing anything together. I'm using a size 6 round brush. I'm gonna move this out of the way. Okay, olive green. Now you're just gonna paint in the shape that you want. So I'm just gonna kind of go wobbly. I'm gonna make it nice and big, and then just bring it like that. Going to go back into whatever color you chose and just go all the way around that shape. And I'm painting in, like, my little plate, my olive green plate. That is going to be the rest of the paper. If you are a person who likes nice crisp borders, go ahead and tape your paper down. I'm going to leave mine kind of organic. And you can make this border as dark, I guess this color is dark, or as light as you would like. I would start on the lighter side only because we are going to add a shadow. So it'll just be easier to see if it's not super duper dark. Okay, there is the shape of the egg that I am starting with. It might change a little bit, you'll see. Maybe you won't see because maybe it won't change. But sometimes I get like a little bit too pointy there, and so I'll change that later if it needs to be changed. And now, while this is still wet, I am going to come in with more olive green right straight from the pan with not as much water, and I'm going to place my shadow. So I'm pretending my light source is coming from up here, and so my shadows are going to be on this side of the egg. And so while it's wet, and the reason I like to do it while it's wet, because then the edge won't be so, what do you call it? Like, it won't be such a hard defined line. See how it just kind of fans out like that? That's what I prefer. There's ways you can get around it if it is too much of a hard edge. You can, just kind of get a damp brush and kind of soften it up a little bit, but we're just going to do it right like this so we don't have to do that later. And a little bit more over here, darken it up right along the edge. Okay, I like it. I like it. Now, I'm going to let this completely dry. You really don't need to because we're going right in the middle for the yolk, but I'm always afraid I'm going to put my hand in it or something, so let's do that. And I use my heat gun. You can use a hair dryer. You can let it dry on its own, any which way you choose. And now for the yolk, I have mixed together, what did I mix together? I mixed together cadmium yellow and vermilion. So kind of yellows and oranges until you get the yolk to being the color that you prefer. And you can do it right smack dab in the middle. You can do a little off center, whatever you want. You can do a little ovally, you can do a round, you can do a broken yolk if you want to be really real about it, right? Okay, so there's the first layer of the yolk. And while that mixture is still wet, the yolk, I am going to get a little bit of vermilion and I'm going to just tap it in here and kind of let it spread a little bit on this side. Because again, our light source is coming over here, so it's just going to be a little bit darker on this side. Now, if you're like, girl, what are you doing with orange? I get pasture-raised eggs, and they are quite orange, and I love them very much. All right, we're going to just kind of let that seep through. I am not loving how it kind of looks like a line, so I've cleaned my brush off, and I've wiped it on my paper towel. It is damp. So I'm just going to kind of tap around here, which will soak some of that up, and maybe just move it around a little so it's not such a perfect little line. Maybe even add a tinge more, tinge, is that a word? Over here, a little bit more over here. There, now that makes me happy, and we're gonna dry that. And once that dries, you can determine if it dried too lightly for your liking or if you're gonna leave it. I personally am going to go right back into my mixture of the cadmium yellow and vermilion, and I'm just gonna put it over the whole yolk. Start over here, and it'll just make it a nice, richer, more saturated color. Somebody, oh gosh, I started a TikTok. Oh my gosh, I feel really old and weird over there, but somebody left a comment over there saying, how come your colors are so saturated? Well, part of it is layering, because the more you layer, the more saturated your colors are going to be. So that's one little tip. I'm going to let this dry. That is completely dry. And hilariously, I literally, just as I was drying that second time, realized I didn't leave my white space. I told you, this is what I do. But no worries, we are going to just add white later, like I said. Okay, so now for a little shadow on the yolk, in my samples, my little practice ones, I used Payne's Gray, which you can also use. I kind of don't love that bluish gray. So I am actually going to do something that, sometimes I get a little snarky comments, and that's okay. I'm going to use black. So I'm going to just use coal black, which is, again, from my Mei Liang set. And you can see there's lots of water in here, so it's very diluted. It's just a nice gray. You can play with the ratio of water to paint and get whichever color of gray that you would like. And we're just going to kind of come along the edge of our yolk to add our little shadow. Also, I think I mentioned size 6 round brush. I'm just using that for the whole painting. Imagining the light source coming from the upper right again, and we're just going to come around. I'm being careful not to like reactivate that yolk, the yellowish orangish color, so I'm kind of leaving a little bit of a white space in the interest of being very cautious, but we do want to come up right next to it. I'm noticing I've got too much water on my paper, and so I'll fix that here in a second. It's just kind of a little bit too puddly. And so I'm going to dry my brush off on my towel, which will then make my brush act kind of like a sponge, and it's going to soak up some of that water. So like right here, if I just take my kind of dry brush here. You can see it just soaks that water right up. And then I can just move it around a little bit over here. And I kind of wanted to just hug the yolk a little bit. You could leave it just like this if you wanted to. It's really, again, we don't take things too seriously around here. So, but I've dried my brush off again, and I'm kind of just scrubbing the edge of that line just to soften it up a little bit. And you can see here like how it's a hard edge right here, and then it's softer right here where I've kind of scrubbed it. And just softening it up a little bit, making it less of a harsh shadow. And some people like the harsh shadows. They like that really graphic kind of look, if that's the right word I'm looking for. But that's a little subtle for me, so we're going to let it dry, and I'm probably going to come in here in a little bit and make it a little bit more noticeable, because obviously watercolors always dry lighter. And now, just like our practice here, I'm going to add some brown around the edges, and I am choosing to use Van Dyke's brown for the crisping up of the edges. Now, you may not want to crisp up your edges. This is a realistic thing for me because I tend to fry up my bacon before I fry up my eggs. And so, it just kind of leaves this brown, crispy edge on the edge of our eggs. I am going to speed you through this part because it's very personal, however you want to do it. I mean, not very personal, that sounded kind of dramatic, but just make the little brown edges and brown spots throughout the egg as you would like them to be. And just so you know, I'm not using a reference photo or anything. This is just my little imagination of how my eggs kind of look sometimes. Now I am going to darken up that shadow around the yolk, like I mentioned, just taking more of that coal black, diluted coal black, and making it a little bit more noticeable for us. I think I'm fussing with it a little bit too much, but just trying to make it look like a little realistic, which is silly because I don't do realistic paintings. I do whimsical paintings, but here I am overly fussing with our shadow of the egg yolk. Just play with it till you like it. Okay, and now I'm looking at the shadow under our egg. This can be done right here, you guys, but I've decided, against my better judgment, I'm just going to come in and darken it up a little bit more because I do want more of a contrast here. I don't know why. It's okay. I don't overthink things. I just kind of do it, do what feels good, what I think is going to look good. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. So you can see I'm just kind of right along the edge there, making it a little bit darker, as if our egg is going to leave that much of a shadow, but it's okay. This is art. There's no wrong way to do it. Just have fun with it. Enjoy the whimsy, enjoy the things that maybe don't make sense. And yeah, let's let go of perfection this year, shall we? Actually, I have never been a perfectionist, to my knowledge. Somebody might disagree with that in certain areas of my life, but for art, I'm trying to just have fun and get better as I go. I have not been painting that long, so just having fun and trying to help other people have fun as they explore their own creativity. And now I'm just going to soften the edge of that shadow, kind of like I did around the yolk. And so I dried my brush off on my towel, so it is still damp a little bit. And I'm just scrubbing the edge there, softening it up just ever so slightly. And not a necessary step ever, but this is just what my brain wanted to do at this time. I really hope that my videos give you just, I hate the word permission because I'm not here to give you permission or not, but you know what I mean? That they would just encourage you to play and try what I try or don't try what I try because you might be watching me doing it and go, oh no, she just made that worse. That's okay. Just have fun with it and explore your own creativity. And there have been many spots where we could have stopped at this painting and have it be finished, but I am just going to darken up some of these brown spots here. So I'm going to speed through it because I'm literally just going over the spots that are already there until I like what I see. And now it's finally time to add the highlights with our jelly roll size 10. And if you left the paper white there, good on you, but I did not. So I'm just going to add my things in. I'm just going to do a curved line. You can leave it there. You could add a little dot, a couple dots. You could make this more bold. You could add it into like a shape, make it into a shape, I should say. Really just have fun with it. I'm just going to add a couple lines here and, who knows what is reflecting, right? Where the light is and that sort of thing. So again, no wrong way to do this. Just have fun with it. And then bring in a black pen. I'm using a Micron size 5. And if you don't have the archival ink, waterproof, it's okay. We're not adding any more paint to this, so just use what you've got. And you can see I'm just adding little black dots. This is going to be the pepper that I'm putting on my egg. And I am going to just kind of make them a little bit more gathered. What was the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Just put more black dots in some spots and make it a little more sparse in other spots. Just, pepper doesn't come out uniformly. I'm really having a hard time with English today, and that's okay. All right, so just put your pepper on there if you so desire, just until it looks good enough to eat for you. And then we can go ahead and add our signature if that's what you like to do. I don't plan on selling these or anything, so I'm just signing my name on each of these 52 paintings we're doing this year and writing the number 2 out of 52 over here. Okay, and then I'm going to put mine in my cute little binder that I bought. And there's our day 1. We will add day 2 in here, just right behind day 1. I love it. I cannot wait to fill this little guy up. I think it's going to be so fun. If you missed the video that talked about this, I'll link this in the description if you're interested. This particular little trading card binder has 40 sleeves, so we can put 80 paintings in here. Plenty of room for our 52 and room to grow. And otherwise, if you don't want to get one this size, you can go on Amazon or wherever you like to buy things and just search for trading card binder, and there are a billion little choices. Okay, that's it. Here's my practice ones again. And if you give this a try, let me know what color you chose for your background, and whatever you do, I hope you have fun with it. Okay, see you next Tuesday.